Hello, UFL fans. We're back and we've got a great one in week 4. We've got the St Louis Battlehawks versus the DC Defenders. It's that rivalry. It's back again. It's for the second time already this season after the Battlehawks just beat out the Defenders in week 1. A close one, a defensive one. And the Defenders will certainly want revenge for that. Definitely the hotter of the two teams now, the Defenders, over the last couple of weeks. Won both of those since that week 1 loss. And we'll be looking to make it 3 on the bounce today. The Battlehawks had a tough one last week against the Stallions and somehow, some way came out on top of that one in a crazy, crazy game. What we were getting this one, we're just about ready for kickoff. And it's going to be McCrane kicking it off to the Battlehawks. And the kick is up. And it's returnable from inside the 5-yard line. And tackle down right around the 27-yard line. That's where the Battlehawks, it's going to be Harrison Frost for the Battlehawks coming out. He took over from Brandon Silvers in the last game. His first 2 passes through 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6. The first was a pick 6, but then came back in the 4th quarter through 3 touchdowns and brought the Battlehawks back to win that one. He'll look for a better start today, that's for sure. So we've got an empty backfield for him to start with. They're up at their own 28-yard line. Snap back to him, looking to pass. Throws deep over the middle. And it's just out of reach of the intended target. That would have been a huge, huge play on the opening play. It was just out of reach. But intentions were there. So I'll catch up in the chat in a second. Thank you very much for everyone that's joined us. If you're watching over on YouTube, can you do us a favour and just hit that thumbs up? It just helps push our live stream out to more people. Appreciate if you've already done that. It's a handoff on 2nd down and a good hard run as well, 9 yards. He's going to set up a 3rd and 1. Let's try and catch up as best we can in the chat. Hi, Brian. Thanks for joining us, as always. Supporting the Battlehawks in this one. How about the Kings and Aviators? Well, we can come on to that shortly. The Kings get their first win, the expansion team, on Thursday night. On Friday night, it was the Aviators' turn to get their first win. Shock of the week as well to beat the unbeaten Renegades. But we've got a timeout. We've got a timeout here for the Battlehawks. They've wasted some timeouts in their game so far. In the 1st and 3rd quarters, really wasted the timeouts. I've had to call one here. So, TO NFL, thanks for joining us. Supporting the Defenders in this one. And T. Wilson as well. Battlehawks, Flannery's Defenders. We've got a bit of a mix. We've got more Battlehawks in here than Defenders fans, though. But let us know who you're supporting this one, who you want to win this one. So we've got 1st and 10 coming up for the Battlehawks now. So from their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Snap back to Frost. He's looking to pass. Thrown towards the right sideline, way above his intended target. And that's going to set up a 2nd and 10. Hi, Danica. Thanks for joining us. This is Game Play Store. It's on ABC in America. Unfortunately, the UK still no companies are taking it on for streaming, which is frustrating. We just have to hope that the stream holds up for us for what we're watching. So we go 2nd and 10 in the shotgun. Harrison Frost. It's a handoff up the middle, but the defenders are there this time. Smother it at the line. It's going to set up a 3rd and long. And Just Killer, thanks for joining us over on Twitch to respond to your reply to my comment yesterday. What about at corner with no McDuffie? We could pick up a corner at pick 29 or 40 or even later as Jalen Watson. It was a 7th round pick. Seems to be a good team on late round corners, developing corners. Yeah, it's just a huge hole, isn't it? When your starting corner goes. We'll see what they do. Snap back to Frost. It was an empty backfield. Sets off running forwards. Gets the 1st down right at the 50-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. And we'll see who this is against. It's against the defense by the looks of it. There you go. Defensive holding. It's going to be an extra 5 yards added on to the end of the run. And it means that the Battlehawks have crossed midfield and so will not be able to punt on this drive. It's almost like a QB draw, that looked like. So 1st and 10 coming up. Spread formation out, shotgun motions a receiver from left over to the right. Fires it into him, looking to set up the screen. It's low. And it's ruled as incomplete. Looking for Pearson on the wide receiver screen. Incomplete, though. Yeah, Frost did well. He did well in the 4th quarter. Not so good 3rd quarter. Looked very shaky. But they'll try and get him in rhythm early in this one. So got 2nd and 10 coming up for the Battlehawks. Trips right formation out the shotgun. Snap back to Frost. Throws, caught. And it's going to be a 9. They're going to give him an 8.5 yard completion, taking the ball just inside the 40-yard line of the defenders. So where can we watch the game? The real Big Sean. It's on ABC or ESPN on ABC in America. Unfortunately, I don't know where you're from, or let us know where you're from. Outside of the US, it's a bit of a problem at the minute. But we are Battlehawks fans. We're Battlehawks fans as well. Hopefully they can pull off the win in this one. We've got a flag on this play. So the Battlehawks have called another timeout. I see what I mean. They wasted so many timeouts in the game so far. That's 2 gone in the first 3.5 minutes. But they had too many players in the offensive huddle, so they call a timeout beforehand. So we've got Pratt coming out to quarterback now for the Battlehawks. It's an empty backfield for Pratt. It was a high snap, but he took the ball, ran straight forward, and he got just enough for the first down. It was obviously a design play call for Pratt coming in. It was a high snap. He did well to go up and get it, find just enough of a seam to run and get the first down. And comes back over to the sideline. So just a designed run for Pratt coming in at quarterback for the Battlehawks there. So it's back to Frost. So from the 36-yard line of the defenders, Frost is in the shotgun, snap back to him. It's a handoff, makes a player miss, and makes another player miss, and eventually tackled down after a 7-yard carry. Good run from Latulis. So it'll be a 2nd and 3 coming up for the Battlehawks. Trips left formation, now motions receiver across. It's a handoff to Latulis again, but he's hit immediately in the backfield for at least a 3-yard loss. It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 6, or maybe even a 3rd and 7. So just killer, we did bring in Noel Williams last year in the draft. Then we brought in former 1st-round care Elam. So I'm looking at Brandon Cisse perhaps at pick 40 with prioritising edge and wide receiver. It'll be interesting. Interesting if they do bring in a wide receiver. I still think that Hill is going to end up with the Chiefs next season at some point. Snap back to Frost. Under immediate pressure, tries to dump it off to his running back, Latulis, but throws it above his head. It's going to be a 4th and 7. And of course, they can't punt. It might be a field goal attempt coming up. So it's Tucker McCann from the left hash. 51-yard field goal attempt is up and is good. First points of the day go to the Battlehawks with a field goal. A good start. Good start for Battlehawks. It's always nice to get the first points on the board. And something that has really struck me so far in the UFL this season is the kickers. You know, they're blasting it from nearly 60 yards. We nearly had in the first couple of games this week already. I think we've had a couple of 59-yarders, so they were just 1 yard away from getting a 4-point field goal. But they've been pretty consistent, except for the Stallions kicker, Gary Bay, who they've now replaced the Stallions for this week. But everybody else has been pretty consistent. They've got a big leg on them. And I think there's definitely a few of them that are going to be vying for NFL rosters next season. McCann for the Battlehawks, McCrane definitely for the Defenders. You know, it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, and definitely a good opportunity for them to showcase their skills. So going back to the Chiefs chat, Tyreek Hill would be nice. However, my concern is him getting injured again. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming back from injury as serious as that is always difficult. But they've just got a nice bit of luxury that they haven't had for a while. The Chiefs having a top 10 pick, and then obviously having a pick later on in the first round as well. So 2 picks in the first 29. Got a nice bit of luxury there, so they can look completely defense, or they could potentially go for a weapon on offense and the defense as well. They've got a lot of options available there, so they could at pick 9. They could have their choice at, all of the wide receivers on the board might still be on the board at that point at pick 9. So we'll see. I mean, I think a lot of defensive players are going to go off the board early. Maybe a couple of offensive linemen. Mendoza going first, but I think there's going to be a lot of edge. There's going to be a lot of edge players, which could set off other teams to start panicking and start going pass rush as well. It is a deep class, but there's certain players that are a bar above the rest. So we'll see how it does play out. So I want the Battlehawks in this match. I'm a Chiefs fan. I mean, we adopted the Battlehawks as our team back a few years ago with the XFL, when the XFL rebooted. And we just picked a team that we liked the look of. We liked the fact that the head coach at the time was Anthony Becht. We liked that AJ McCarron was the quarterback. So we picked the Battlehawks. They're not too bad a team to support as well. The team's changed a bit over the last few years. Obviously, Anthony Becht is now with Orlando Storm as the head coach starting this year. And AJ McCarron is a head coach himself in the UFL now with the Stallions. So where's the Storm from? The Storm, Orlando. The only unbeaten team now in the UFL. After the Renegades got beaten yesterday by the Aviators. But it'd be good for the league. It'd be good for the league if the Stallions beat Storm later on today. I think it's a 4 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. But it'd be good for the league if the Stallions beat the Storm, because it just keeps all the teams nice and close. The kick is up from McCann. It's returnable from around the 5-yard line. And he's tackled down around the 27 or 28-yard line on the return. And so this will be Tamu, the spring football veteran, coming out with the offense of the Defenders on their first drive. So start from their own 28-yard line, motions receiver from left to right, and then back across. Keeps it himself, though. Tamu, and it's a 3, maybe 4-yard carry. So it wasn't the Rocky Ball with the XFL. He was, and that sort of drew our attention to it in the first place because he did a lot of promoting of it, and that's how we ended up finding it in the first place. Also, Brian was promoting it on here as well. Snap back to Tamu. He dumps it off to the running back in the backfield, who is tackled down and out of bounds 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to set up a 3rd and long. So I believe that the Rock is still a partner of the UFL. Obviously, Mike Repole, it seems to be the face of it this season. And he's done a lot of promoting. He's got to a lot of different games as well. So he's doing a good job. Spread formation for the defenders on 3rd and 9. Snap back to Tamu. Fire towards the right side, then wide open receiver who catches it, steps out of bounds right around the 41-yard line. 1st down, defenders. So we're about halfway through the first quarter, 7.5 minutes left. Defenders now with the ball and driving. Trips left formation out the shotgun. It's a handoff up the middle, but the Battlehawks are there. Looks like a half-a-yard loss on the play. Set up a 2nd and 10 from around their own 41-yard line. Something the defenders will want to do is establish the run. They've done that well this season, on the most part, except against the Battlehawks. And Tamu, to be fair, has thrown a few interceptions. So if the Battlehawks can get turnovers, they've got a good chance of winning this game if they can stop the run as well. Snap back to Tamu. It's a keeper again, who gains barely half a yard as well. It's going to set up a 3rd and 10. So what kind of teams are in the XFL? So a few years ago, the XFL was set up, was reintroduced, and obviously the Rock was promoting that. And there were 8 teams in the XFL, but then there's another spring league called the USFL at the same time. I'll come back to that in a second. Trips right formation out the shotgun on 3rd and 10. Tamu changing the play at the line. There's only 2 seconds on the play clock, and they call a timeout. On 3rd and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Yeah, so there were 8 teams for the XFL. And then there were also 8 teams for the USFL, which was another spring football league that ran after the XFL did. But then, rather than them running, one after the other, last season they put the 2 leagues together. So some teams survived, some teams didn't. And then obviously we've had some changes this season as well, some expansion teams, some rebrandings. But the teams that are still around today in the UFL from the XFL, the Battlehawks were in it, the DC Defenders were in it, and they were called the Arlington Renegades, and now called the Dallas Renegades. They were in it, and Houston Gamblers were the Houston Roughnecks, so they were in it as well. So those 4 teams came from the XFL and are still going. Snap back to Tamu. 3rd and 10. Time to throw. Thrown towards the left sideline. Wide open receiver who catches it and takes the ball into Battlehawks territory inside the 40-yard line. How did he get that wide open? Oh, great route. Completely outsmarted the defender. 1st and 10. And of course, now across midfield, the defenders can't punt. So trips right formation out the shotgun from the 41-yard line of the Battlehawks. It's a handoff up the left side on the sweep, but again, the Battlehawks are there. It's a 2-yard loss on the play. It was Smith on the carry. And with 5 minutes left in the first quarter, the Battlehawks are shutting down the run. Going to put a lot of pressure on Tamu throwing the ball. So an empty backfield for Tamu this time. 2nd and 12. Snap back to him. Fired towards the right sideline. It's caught. And pushed out of bounds. Looks to be about 6 yards short of the line to gain. And we get a 3rd down. So 3rd and 6 from the Battlehawks 37-yard line. It's an empty backfield again. Snap back to Tamu. Pressure coming. Sidesteps the pressure. He's got a free run now. 1st down, still going. And tackled down at the 15-yard line. He had a free rusher come through. He sidestepped, juked out the way, and then had open space in front of him for a huge rush. And sets the ball up inside the red zone for the defenders. You know, the Battlehawks sacked Tamu 7 times in the opening game of the season. So on 1st and 10, it's a handoff on the sweep to Smith. It's a 1-yard gain up the right side. And that'll set up a 2nd and 9. So the pressure got to Tamu in that first matchup in week 1. The Battlehawks won that 16-10. They shut the defenders out after the first quarter. And I want to get that pressure going again. We've got an empty backfield again for Tamu. On 2nd and 9 from the Battlehawks 14-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Lofted pass to the end zone. And it's caught in the end zone by Kuti. And the defenders take the lead with a touchdown.
Touchdown!
Nice pass. Nice touch on the pass from Tamu. Lofted towards the left side corner of the end zone. Kuti went up, got it, got his feet in. And the defenders lead 6-3. And Brian says, boo. So here comes the extra points. From the left hash is up. Straight down the middle from McCrane. That's what you've come to expect from him. The defenders lead 7-3. So such a contrast between the run game and the pass game so far for the defenders. Not able to establish anything on the ground through their running backs. But have had a fair bit of success through the air on that drive from Tamu. And a lovely lofted pass towards the corner of the end zone. And Kuti did well to bring it in. So just under 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Defenders lead 7-3. In what has become a heated rivalry since these two teams were re-established a few years back. Again, talking about the XFL. So we're going back to that. So the 4 teams that are still around from the XFL. You've obviously got the St Louis Battlehawks. You've got the DC Defenders. The Dallas Renegades were the Arlington Renegades. You've also got the Houston Gamblers were the Houston Roughnecks. So those 4. And a surviving team from the USFL. We've got the Birmingham Stallions. They are a dynasty team in the USFL. But other than that, we've got 3 obviously new teams this year in the UFL. We've obviously got the Orlando Storm. We've got the Columbus Aviators and the Louisville Kings. Both the Louisville Kings and Columbus Aviators got their first wins in week 4. The Louisville Kings had a change of fortune in overtime this time around, and were able to beat the Gamblers in overtime. They've just changed the rules of overtime as well, so to make sure that the game can't be won on a penalty, which is good news. And then a very solid performance from the Columbus Aviators yesterday. Beat the Renegades 28-14. Great win. And then later on today, we've obviously got the Orlando Storm at the Birmingham Stallions. It's their first home game for the Stallions this season. And they'll be desperate to win that one. Slipped to 1-2. And they're playing the only undefeated team left in the UFL now, which is obviously the Orlando Storm. I hope, even though I do like the Storm, mainly because I like the coach, Anthony Beck. But for the good of the league, I hope the Stallions win that one. Because I want as many teams as possible to be in the playoff push. So you've got to finish in the top 4 to get into the playoffs. I want as many teams still fighting for that for as long as the season can go. So I'm glad that the Louisville Kings won and the Columbus Aviators at 0-4, they'd have been pretty much out of it. But 1-3, they've still got a chance. You've got the 1-3 Kings, the 1-3 Gamblers, and the 1-3 Aviators at the bottom there. If the Stallions were to win today, they'll get to 2-2. Whoever loses our game, the Battlehawks and Defenders, they'll be 2-2. And then from there, you've got the winner of this game will be 3-1. The Renegades will be 3-1. And then if the Storm were to lose today, they would be 3-1. So keeps things nice and wide open. And I do hope that the Kings, the Aviators, or the Gamblers are able to come back and push these top 5, who were my top 5 favourites to push for the playoffs this season. Before the season started, I did say I thought it would be Storm, Battlehawks, Defenders, and Stallions. But how the Renegades started this season was outstanding on offense. So I was surprised that they did get beaten yesterday by the Aviators. But for the good of the league, I'm all for it. So the Defenders are ready to kick it back to the Battlehawks. Just under 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. The kick is up. Returnable from the 2-yard line. And spins and tackle down again close to the 28-yard line. So we'll get Harrison Frost back out for his second drive. So shotgun formation from their own 28-yard line. It's now trips right. It's a handoff on the sweep to the left, though. And a decent run, gains 4 yards before being pushed out of bounds. Set up a 2nd and 6. So 2nd and 5, again, trips right, formation out the shotgun. Snap back to Frost. Looking to pass, got time to pass, throws deep over the middle. Incomplete pass. Looks like great coverage in the secondary. Thompson gets his hands in there to stop the completion. Yeah, that's great coverage. Great coverage. Not easy to do running downfield against the receiver. We've got a 3rd and 5 now from their own 32-yard line. It's an empty backfield for Frost. Snap back to him. Thrown. And his receiver didn't get his head turned around. It hits the back of Pearson. Falls incomplete. And I think we're going to get our first punt of the game. We've got Big Sailor. Thanks for joining us. Go Battlehawks. It's been an okay start for the Battlehawks in this one. Managed to score the field goal on their opening drive, but and stop the run really well against the Defenders on their opening drive. But Tamu found the end zone to Kuti. The Battlehawks are now going to have to punt. The punt is up. And it is going to be returns and tackled down at the 20-yard line. That's where the defenders are going to come out and start their second drive. Battlehawks done an excellent job of stopping the run so far. But can they stop the pass? It seems that the defenders figured out that with the empty backfield, they'd seen something that they can get their receivers open. And if Ta'amu can get the ball out on time, they can pick this Battlehawks defense apart. We'll see if we see more of that on this next drive. So who do I think is going to win? In my predictions before the game, I did say I think that the defenders are going to win this one. They're the hot team right now in the UFL. And as long as Ta'amu doesn't turn the ball over, I think the defenders will win. He's thrown a few picks this season, silly picks as well. But we'll see. He's in the pistol here from his own 20. It's a handoff up the left side, who bounces back up the middle. And the first good run from the running back carries the ball for 14 yards. Jackson. And Dion Jackson has had an excellent start to the UFL season. A couple of weeks back, had 3 rushing touchdowns. Had a huge, I think it was a 60-yard rushing touchdown last week. That's the first time they've actually got something going on the ground. On 1st and 10, though, Ta'amu was under pressure and throws the ball into the ground. It's going to set up a 2nd and 10 now. So, Big Sailor, who do you think? I mean, obviously, you said go Battlehawks. You're a Battlehawks fan. We're Battlehawks fans as well. I think the defenders win this one. Empty backfields for Ta'amu. Snap back to him. Time to pass. Thrown. Complete. And tackle down close to the 48-yard line. So 2 yards away from midfield. But that's what I've just been talking about. The defenders seem to work something out on that first drive that if we get an empty backfield, the Battlehawks can't cover it. As long as the offensive line pick up the pressure, Ta'amu will pick the Battlehawks secondary apart. We've got shotgun formation. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. And just a half a yard gain this time. Well stuffed by the Battlehawks on this occasion. That's how the first quarter is going to end. With the ball close to midfield, still on the defender's side of the ball. The defender's side of the field. Well, that is the ends of the first quarter. And the defenders lead in this one over the Battlehawks 7-3. It was the Battlehawks that received, just as a quick summary, it was the Battlehawks that received the opening kickoff, drove down the field nicely, ended up having to settle for a field goal, a 51-yard field goal from McCann. Kicked the ball to the defenders who were struggling on the ground, kept on getting stuffed or forced backwards. But a couple of nice pass plays from Ta'amu, drove downfield. He had a big scramble as well that took the ball into the red zone and then had a lovely touch, lofted pass to the corner to Cootie for the opening touchdown of the game. McCrane's extra point was good to make it 7-3. The Battlehawks received the kickoff for their second possession, but went 3 and out, had to punt. And so we're back with the defenders on their second drive, who have started again well. The ball nearly at midfield, just inside their own half. And Ta'amu, as we said, is throwing the ball really well so far. As long as he's got the time today, is what I think will happen. Is if he gets the time, if you don't get the pressure there. I mean, remember the Battlehawks sacked him 7 times in the opening game of the season. They've yet to get to him yet. If they can keep Ta'amu upright, give him the time, I think he'll pick this Battlehawks defense apart, and I think the defenders will win. So who's leading between the two teams? You mean in terms of records? They're both at 2-1. I mean, I've got on the screen there in the standings. They're both right next to each other at 2-1. The Battlehawks are above the defenders because obviously the Battlehawks beat the defenders in week 1, so own that head-to-head. Obviously, they would switch places if the defenders won this one, because the defenders would improve to 3-1, while the Battlehawks would slip to 2-2. No, this is already, we're only in week 4, but this is the second time that these two teams have played each other. And who would bet against it happening again this season, perhaps in the playoffs? So it looks like we're back and ready to start the second quarter. Talking to Ricky Prohl about factor of sun cream that he's got on.
Get them into a rhythm, get some completions, and then get something going offensively, sustain some drives. Defensively, Jordan Thomas gotten off to a crispy start. It looks like he's been in rhythm. How do you try to disrupt that to start the second quarter? Well, he has. He's made some good plays, but we've 2 third longs they've converted.
So we go 2nd and 9 for the defenders from just inside their own half.
And then we start feeding off that energy, and that's what I'm looking for here real soon, though. Coach, appreciate you. Best of luck rest of the way. Thank you. Ricky Prohl, you're the one as the head coach, of course. Incredibly talented.
He's got shotgun formation for the defenders and Tamu. Snap back to him. It's going to be a play-action pass. Under pressure, scrambles around, throws towards the left sideline and throws it high and away out of bounds. Again, the Battlehawks defender got his hands onto Tamu, but he spun out the tackle and the sack. He's going to set up a 3rd and 9. The Battlehawks did win the Q1. No, it's defenders are leading 7-3. Defenders are leading 7-3 over the Battlehawks at the minute. But the Battlehawks did win the first matchup in week 1. But in this one at the moment, it's still 7-3 to the defenders. Snap back to Tamu on 3rd and 9. Under pressure, scrambles around and is eventually corralled and brought down on the sack for a 1-yard loss. And what that means is that because they didn't quite cross midfield, it means that they don't have to go for it. They can punt. The pocket just closed in on Tamu, tried to scramble around. But the defenders, the Battlehawks defenders got there. So we've got a punt incoming. And the punt is up. Returnable. Oh, no, he's going to let it bounce. Takes one bounce and then into the end zone for the touchback. So we've had 2 scoring drives to open the game, a field goal, then a touchdown. And now we've had back-to-back punts. See what Harrison Frost and this Battlehawks offense can do on the next possession. Currently down 7-3 early in the second quarter. Trips left formation. Quick fire pass out on the screen to Hakeem Butler. Stiff arms, 2 players at the 40s, at the 50s, at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. Touchdown, Battlehawks! A huge play on the wide receiver screen. Under pressure, Harrison Frost throws it, gets it out just in time to Hakeem Butler, stiff arms two defenders, and then he was gone. Touchdown, Battlehawks.
Touchdown!
A huge play for the Battlehawks offense. And that's the weapon that Hakeem Butler is. I was surprised when I saw him in the XFL a couple of seasons ago. I thought an NFL team would pick him up. I think he ended up on a roster to start pre-season. I think he might be in the Steelers even a couple of years ago. But he's still playing in the UFL. And here comes the extra point attempt from McCann. Let's try and make this a 3-point ball game. And McCann has sliced it. Pretty steady kicker, McCann, one of the more reliable kickers in the UFL, has sliced it right. So the game remains just a 2-point advantage for the Battlehawks at 9-7. So Brian likes it, and that's more like it for the Battlehawks. Great stiff arm. Stiff arms two players. Gets a nice block from Pearson, and then it's off to the races from there. Nobody's catching him. 6'5", big-bodied wide receiver, huge strides. He was gone. So now I've got these silly interviews on the sidelines. I don't like them. Let me know what your thoughts are if you're watching. Do you like these sideline interviews while the game's going on? I think it's annoying. Oh, and then McCann kicks the ball off. It doesn't reach the 20-yard line. So 2 bad kicks from McCann in a row. So the ball's going to start up at the 40-yard line for the defenders. So 1st and 10 for the defenders from their own 40-yard line. Snap back Tamu. Fired. Caught. And takes the ball into Battlehawks territory up to the 45-yard line of the Battlehawks. This game's come to life. Happy with the Battlehawks. Big Sales happy with the score there as well. I do like it. Makes the games more personal. So you do like it. Snap back to Tamu. Thrown towards the right sideline. It's just out of reach of his intended target. Powell, it's going to be an incomplete. So you like the sideline interviews. I just found it tough to watch last week. The Battlehawks and the Stallions, every time they were talking to somebody on the sideline, something bad would happen to that team. So they were talking to the backup quarterback of the Stallions, and then Corral threw an interception. Then they were talking to the mum of Brandon Silvers. He then threw an interception and got benched. They're talking to Ricky Prohl, the head coach of Battlehawks, and then the Stallions score a huge touchdown. Stone caught on 2nd and 10. And takes the ball close to the 39-yard line and sets up a 3rd and 4. So it's 3rd and 3 for the defenders. Got a false start, surely. How have they got away with that? It's fired in by Tia. It's incomplete. That's for... There's a receiver over on the right side for the defenders who clearly jumped, and the referee somehow missed it. All the Battlehawks players are like, what's happening? Pass fired in from Tamu on the quick slant, unable to be brought in. It's going to be a 4th and 3. And, of course, the defenders, they have to go for it. Or they're going to go for a kick. 56-yard field goal attempt to retake the lead. It's McCrane. He's definitely got the leg. As he got the accuracy from the right hash. 56-yard attempt. Here we go. The kick is up. And, of course, it is good. An NFL team is going to sign him. I guarantee you that now. The defenders with the field goal now lead 10-9. It's just such a weapon, especially in the UFL. You know, once you cross midfield, you know, if you've got a kicker that can do what McCrane can do, it's almost a guaranteed 3 points as soon as you cross midfield. 4 points even if it's from 60 plus. So, yeah, huge weapon to have. So they're trying new things, trying to make a niche. Perhaps, sometimes I say, I'm trying to see it from the players or the coaches' perspective, and surely it must be annoying for them. I don't mind like the questions before or half time or after the game, but during the game, it must get annoying. And Brian said, I like the long kicks as well. I mean, again, that's something that's being debated heavily about. Should a 60-yard field goal be worth 4 points? Some people say yes, some people say no. You know, some people would want that for the NFL, some people wouldn't. I personally wouldn't want it for the NFL because I think the kickers are becoming too good. And so it sort of means that as soon as you cross midfield, you're pretty much just going to kick a field goal. It just takes away, you know, the element of having to go for it or things like that. I just think I'm happy with it being in the UFL, but I wouldn't have the 4-point 60-yard field goals in the NFL. Brad said it gives it the wrestling feel, what the sort of interviews on the sideline. I mean, I'm not a massive wrestling fan myself, Brian, but I'll take your word for it though. So we've got the defenders leading in this one, 10-9. Should be 10-10. However, the Battlehawks kicker McCann missed the extra point after that huge 75-yard touchdown from Frost to Hakeem Butler. So they've still got the 1-point advantage. We'll see what the Battlehawks can do on their next drive.
Is called trips right and trips left. So that's being trips right.
So we've got 11 minutes left in the second quarter, and the defenders are just ready to kick it back to the Battlehawks. The kick is up. And it's returnable from the 5-yard line. And he's tackled down close to the 30-yard line. I'm all for this back and forth scoring. I think the over-under in this game, I think it was 45.5 points. You'd like to think that it will go above that. And 19 points already. Just over a quarter's play. So trips right formation out the shotgun. It's a handoff up the middle. And a 2-yard carry. Going to set up a 2nd and 8. So trips left formation out the shotgun this time. Snap back to Frost. He's looking to pass. Fire towards the left sideline. Caught at the 50. And steps out of bounds. Jackson a couple of yards after that. But we have got a flag. But we've got holding against the Battlehawks. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. Yeah, she's rugby tackled him to the ground. To be fair, his wrestling move, we were just talking about wrestling there, Brian. Just thrown him down to the ground. A definite hold. It's going to be a 2nd and 18 coming up now. Snap back to Frost. Thrown. And it's incomplete. It's going to set up a 3rd and 18. With exactly 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Got trips left formation out the shotgun. 3rd and 18. Snap back to Frost. Scrambling around the pocket. Moves out to the right now. Under pressure. And throws the ball high and away out of bounds. Incomplete. And the Battlehawks going to have to punt. And the punt is up. It's a wobbly punt. It bounces at the 37. And it's scooped up by a Battlehawks player. Down, they're going to say it's down at the 35-yard line. And that's where the defense is going to start the next drive. So that's interesting. Something different from what we've seen in the NFL as well is from the live coverage now at the bottom of the screen. It's now got a list of all the people that obviously can talk, the commentators that can talk. When they're talking, their name is highlighted just so you know who is speaking. It's an interesting touch. So we've got a 1st and 10 coming up for the defenders on their next offensive drive. Just under 9 minutes left in this second quarter. they're saying it hit the wire, the ball hit the wire, that surely it should be a re-kick then. They're not going to, though. It's going to be defenders starting from their own 35-yard line. 1st and 10. It's going to be a play-action pass. And a keeper from Tamu is stuffed immediately at the line. And that's going to set up a 2nd and 10.
What's the quarterback's progression? What does he got to get from point A to point B to point C? What do we have on the call here, Mike? Yes, we got a bunch set over here. Constantly playing the bunch. Perhaps the motion to kind of indicate what's going on in Savannah zone.
So his trips left, motion receiver from left to right, then back to left, snap back to Tamu. It's going to be a pass play. Starts scrambling, sets off running and slides down after a 3-yard rush. She set up about a 3rd and 6 for the defenders. So 3rd and 6 from their own 38-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Looking to pass. Got time this time. Throws over the middle. Fired in. It's caught. And tackled down at the 40-yard line of the Battlehawks. He fired that in. Threaded the needle. And somehow, some way, got the ball in there. In between 2 Battlehawks diving defenders. Somehow got it right in between them. 1st and 10 for the defenders. Shotgun formation from the Battlehawks 40-yard line. And it's a handoff up the middle, but completely stuffed. It's Deion Jackson thrown down by Feeney. And that set up a 2nd and 10. So 6.5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Defenders driving the 2nd and 10 now from the Battlehawks 40-yard line. Shotgun formation for Tamu. Hands it off to Deion Jackson, bouncing around in the pocket and managed to make his way just for a yard up the middle. And that's going to set us up with a 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 coming up. We already know that they're in field goal range from McCrane. So 3rd and 9. Snap back to Tamu. Time to throw. Throws towards the left sideline. It's caught for a 12-yard completion. 1st down for the defenders. Now they've got something going here. Already up by 1 point. Can they add to that lead before the end of the 2nd quarter? There's just under 5.5 minutes left. So 1st and 10. Snap back to Tamu. It's going to be a pass play. No, he sets off running. Lost the ball up in the end. And somehow caught. What a interesting looking play. We've got a flag. We'll see what this flag is and then we'll describe what just happened on that play. The referees are currently discussing the penalty.
are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding number 20.
So it's holding against defense, which has been declined. Roughing the passer against the defense, which has been accepted. And it's going to be half distance to the goal now. So the defenders are going to be in the red zone. It's one of those hits on a quarterback where they now take them down and then take with their full force and land on top of them. You're not allowed to do that anymore. I don't like that rule, though. Sometimes it's a perfect form tackle. We've got a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line for the defenders. Snap back to Tamu. Loads of time in the pocket, still in the pocket. Scrambles out to the right now, throws towards the back of the end zone, high and wide, but we've got a flag. This is against defense as well. It's holding against the Battlehawks again. Half the distance to the goal. So the ball's going to be right on the 4.5-yard line now. Again, it's going to be 1st and goal from there. Got Tamu in the pistol, run heavy formation. It is a handoff up the left side to Smith. The Battlehawks are there. Just a 1/2 yard gain before Smith is thrown down. He's going to set up a 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Four minutes left in this second quarter. So Brian said, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look great at the minute, and especially with the fact that the Battlehawks are giving away penalties. We've got a timeout now for the defenders, meaning they've got just 1 timeout remaining in the second quarter. The same with the Battlehawks as well. They've only got 1 timeout remaining as well after burning 2 of their timeouts in the first 3 minutes of this game. And Brian saying the writing is on the wall this drive. So you reckon defenders touchdown then? I feel like they're going to have to throw it in though, or Tamu's going to have to scramble it. Because the Battlehawks on designed running back runs have completely stuffed the defenders in this game. So 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line for the defenders. It's trips right formation, out the shotgun for Tamu. Snap back to Tamu. Thrown towards the end zone. And it was bobbles, and incomplete. It looked like he had it in his hands, the defender's receiver. And then the ball came out at the end. I don't know what they're going to call there. So I think it was more with the catch. And then the ball, he couldn't quite get hold of the ball in his hands because it was a Battlehawks defender that kept on trying to bat the ball away. I don't think that's a catch. Great coverage. It's going to be an incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Time to pass. This time, by Scott in the end zone. Touchdown, DC.
Touchdown!
And Brian said, the writing is on the wall. It was. Didn't look like anything but a DC defender's touchdown on that drive. Time who had all the time in the world in the pocket, able to let Scott come clear in the end zone. And now the DC defenders lead by 7, pending the extra point. And Brian saying, of course. Insert boo here. Here comes the extra point from McCrane from the left hash. Straight down the middle. 17-9. Still plenty of time left before the end of the half for the Battlehawks to try and get some points on the board. So 17-9. The DC defenders lead. Important drive for the Battlehawks. They can't really afford to go a quick 3 and out here and give defenders even more time to score before the half, because they do get the ball start the second half as well, DC. So really important drive. They at least, if they're not going to score points, they at least need to try and take as much time off this clock as they can. St. Louis on this drive. Come on, St. Louis. See, I never know really how to pronounce that, because some people say St. Louis, some people say St. Louis. Because you don't say like Louisville, it's like Louisville, Louisville. You know, so I don't know. I always used to say like St. Louis Rams rather than St. Louis Rams, but hey, I don't know. I don't know. Googled it. So it should be St. Louis. Is that what we're going with? St. Louis. St. Louis Battlehawks. I think the St. Louis sounds cooler. St. Louis Battlehawks. I don't know. It just sounds cooler than St. Louis. It's true. It's true. Trust in Google. So are you watching the draft, Brian, on Thursday? I might as well mention that now, just while we talk about the draft. So we have just yesterday we released our final mock draft video on our YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. It's got our first round picks of where we think everyone's going to go, which players are going to go to which team. So make sure you check that out on our YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts on where you think your team should go or who your team should pick. We're also going to be live for the NFL draft round 1 on Thursday night as well. So make sure you come and join us for that live stream as well. Should be a good one. Patriots fans got to wait a long time for their pick to come through. So the kick is up from the defenders, but it doesn't reach the 20-yard line, meaning it's going to be a touchback. Penalty, and the ball's going to start on the 40-yard line. King Louis and St. Louis. Right, so that's how I remember it from now. I hope nobody else corrects me and they're saying, why are you saying St. Louis? I'll say, it's because Brian told me to. So handoff up the right side just for a 1-yard run. Going to set up a 2nd and 9. I'm not knowledgeable enough for you to sound with your picks. Thanks. We'll take that. We'll take that. It should be good. It should be good. It should be an interesting draft. Not that many QBs. First round QBs in this one, apart from Mendoza, who should go first. So we'll see. Keeps it interesting. And Frost on 2nd down scrambles out to his right, throws. It's caught for just a 2 or 3 yard completion by Jackson. That might be the last play of the 2nd quarter before the 2-minute warning. Got a big 3rd and 7 for the Battlehawks coming up. They need to convert here. They're on their own 43-yard line. Empty backfield for Frost. To snap back to him. He's going to look to pass. Lofted pass towards the left sideline. It's incomplete. Looking for Pearson. It's incomplete at 4th and 7, and the Battlehawks are going to have to punt. And it gives DC plenty of time to work with before the half. Worst case scenario now for the Battlehawks. So Brian said, come on, Battlehawks, but not happy with the incompletion there. We're at the 2-minute warning. Battlehawks down by 8. And not being able to get much going on offense at the minute. I mean, the statistics from Frost are a bit skewed because of the fact of that huge 75-yard touchdown, which really he threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage and Hakeem Butler did the rest on the screen. 75-yard touchdown. But other than that touchdown, if we take that one off, Frost is 2 of 11 for 11 yards. So, not having a great... his completion rate at the minute is 25%. 3 of 12, 25%. And his only saving grace is that huge touchdown, really, because otherwise his statistics would not be looking very good at all. If you compare that to Tamu, who's 12 of 17, 126 yards and 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. We've not had a turnover as of yet in the game. Need improvement. The Battlehawks defense need to stop on this drive. The problem is that because McCrane has got such a leg on him, they only need to get to around midfield. And they could be having a chance at a 4-point field goal.
Hey guys, I've got Doug here with me, and I've got Evan here with me. I understand I feel like I'm part of the family. I was here for the very first Beer Snake construction in 2020. You guys have been here from the beginning. Why do you keep coming back?
So DC Defenders fans are currently getting the Beer Snake on the go. That is something that started a few years ago when the XFL re-established. So now the sideline reporter is getting a guy to chug a beer to add the cup to the Beer Snake. And there you go. The snake is about a third of the way up at the minute. And the Battlehawks are lined up ready to punt it back to the defenders. And now they're cheering on the beer snake. I think the Battlehawks have challenged the ruling on the previous play to try and get a holding or pass interference call. They didn't get it, so they've lost their last time out as well now. And here comes the punt. And it bounces at the 2 and bounces into the end zone for the touchback. The defenders are going to be started from their own 20. So 1st and 10 for the defenders from their own 25-yard line. The handoff to Smith up the middle. And a 3-yard carry. Should set up a 2nd and 7. It is the DC defenders that get the ball to start the second half as well. So any points here is a bonus. Snap back to Tamu. Sets off running himself, but he's tackled down after a 2-yard carry. The Battlehawks can't stop the clock. It's going to be around a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 coming up. The clock is ticking. We're at 49 seconds. A 3rd and 4 coming up from their own 30-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Play action pass. Fired towards the left sideline. It's over the head of his intended target. And it means that the defenders go 3 and out. And they're now going to punt themselves with 35 seconds left on the clock. So here comes the punt. Returnable from the 20-yard line, makes a move up the left sideline and tackled down around the 27-yard line with 23 seconds left. Because there's a chance. Only 23 seconds. They're going to have to take a shot. DC can only stop it once, though. So I won't be surprised the Battlehawks taking 1 or 2 deeper shots. Can they try and set up a field goal attempt? Empty backfield for Frost. Snap back to him. Thrown deep over the middle. Hits the hands of his intended target, but we do get a flag. So they're going to get a face mask, personal foul face mask against the defenders. So they've called a pass interference and a face mask. That should get the Battlehawks close to the red zone here. That's a huge, huge penalty. It puts the ball all the way at the 30-yard line of the defenders. So they're in field goal range. We've got 18 seconds left on the clock in this half. Ball on the DC 30-yard line. They're going to have a look at this face mask. I think it'd be harsh. Brian's happy, though, with that call. I think
so in order for this to be one that we can, penalize multiple, the actual act of interference has to be the face mask, and I think that occurs after.
Yeah, I think they're going to call the pass interference in the end here.
So we're going to take the face mask off. Okay, we're going to decline the face mask. Is what we're going to do. Yeah. And we're going to take the face mask. Take the defensive passes.
Just go with the pass interference. We'll take look. Well, they're about to have 15 yards taken back off them here. Because Mike Pereira is just explaining that in order for the face mask to count as well on top of the pass interference, it had to be the face mask done first, then the pass interference.
You can see that the actual face mask pull was after the pass that hit the receiver, so therefore it can't enforce both. Understood. That's almost counterintuitive to what I would have anticipated there, considering it occurs after the initial penalty, but it makes sense on the explanation as you take one more.
So, 1st and 10. 1st and 10 for the Battlehawks. I think they're up at the DC 47-yard line now. We've got spread formation out the shotgun for Frost. Snap back to Frost. Thrown towards the left sideline. Incomplete. Incomplete. It's going to be 13 seconds left. Oh, he should have thrown that over the middle. He should have thrown it to Hakeem Butler coming across the middle. I think he'd have outboxed. The defender on him then. Snap back to Frost. Scrambles out to the left. Looks downfield. Throws downfield. And it's caught by Butler somehow, some way. And because it's a first down, the clock will stop with 1 second left. What an insane throw and catch for the Battlehawks. It's quadruple coverage. There's 4 defenders there. And somehow Hakeem Butler goes up, gets it. And because it was 1 second left, they haven't got any timeouts, but because they got a first down, the rules in the UFL mean it stopped the clock. And I think we've got another penalty, but this time against DC. It was offside against the defense. And they'd had no time left. They'd had no time left, the Battlehawks, to be able to kick, but because the defenders created a penalty, it meant that the clock is at 0 now, but they will still get, McCann will get a chance to kick the field goal here. He best put this through now. After all of that, he best put this through. The clock is at 0. It's a 1st and 5, and a field goal attempt now for McCann from the left hash. A 26-yard field goal attempt he should make. A chance to make this just a 5-point game if he kicks this through. And I think the defenders have called a timeout, try and ice the kicker. That was an insane throw from Frost. Threw it as far as he could, and somehow Hakeem Butler went up, 6'5" body, went up, pulled it down, and went down with just 1 second left. That play would have never happened as well. So this, it's a bonus 3-point attempt really for the Battlehawks if they're able to kick this through. So from the left hash for McCann, 26-yard field goal attempt to make it a 5-point game. The snap, the kick, it's good. It's good. We're going to go into the half with the score at 17-12 to the DC defenders. But they've just given the Battlehawks an absolute freebie, 3 points there. It will be the defenders that do get the ball to start the second half, up by 5. Well, this game's close. It was always going to be close. And we'll see how it goes into the second half. We could take a short break for half-time. Appreciate everyone that's watching so far. And hopefully stick around for the second half. It's going to be a close one. Should be a 1-score game, this, one way or the other. We'll see how it does play out. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes' time for the second half of the St. Louis Battlehawks and the DC Defenders. Hello, we're back for the second half of the St Louis Battlehawks versus the DC Defenders. We've got the Defenders starting for their own 27-yard line. It's a handoff straight up the middle. And just a yard gain. It's going to set up a 2nd and 9. We've also got a flag on the plate. So it's a offside penalty against Feeney of the Battlehawks. Going to set up a 1st and 5 instead. So we've got shotgun formation, snap back to Tamu. It's a handoff again on 1st down. 2-yard carry up the left side from Smith. We'll set up a 2nd and 3. Snap back to Tamu. Again, it's a handoff up the middle this time. And Smith gets within a yard of the 1st down. It's going to set up a 3rd and 1 for DC to start the second half. So we said the Battlehawks' run defense, at least, has completely stifled the Defenders' offensive run game, but they've been beaten consistently on 3rd down through the air. See what the Defenders do on this 3rd and 1. It's a run-heavy formation. It's a play-action pass, though. Bootleg to the right for Tamu. Throws to Smith and completed a 1st down. Leader just a yard. End up getting 3 yards. 1st down, DC. Nice design. Bootleg out. And then hits Smith in the flat for a 3-yard completion. And Defenders keep this drive going. So back in the shotgun on 1st and 10 from their own 39. Snap back to Tamu, looking to pass, thrown over the middle. It's caught for 1st down. And eventually tackled down right around the 33-yard line of the Battlehawks. As Scott said, that's pinpoint accuracy from Tamu. In the first 3 weeks of the UFL season, he's thrown a few needless interceptions, but he's been pretty much spot on in this game. And that's not good news for the Battlehawks defense, who've stopped the run so well, but can't stop the passing game. It's trips left formation out the shotgun. The Battlehawks send pressure. Tamu gets rid of it. It's bobbled by Powell, his intended target, and then knocked away by the defender. It's incomplete. So the Battlehawks decided to send all-out pressure there. Didn't get there, but did force the incomplete pass. And Brian's not happy with how this half has started as well. Snap back to Tamu. 2nd and 10. Throws out to the flats to Dion Jackson. And it looks close to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a 3rd and long coming up for the Defenders. So 3rd and 9 coming up. The Defenders are on the St. Louis 32.5-yard line. It's trips left formation out the shotgun. Snap back to Tamu, looking to pass. Thrown towards the left sideline. It's caught. Wide open receiver. Completely wide open receiver for the 1st down for the Defenders. It's Sanders. And he takes the ball inside the 20-yard line. And again, it's another conversion on third down through the air from Tamu. So it's an empty backfield on 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line now. Snap back to Tamu. Scrambles out to his right. Under pressure, scrambles and throws high and wide out of bounds. Incomplete. Again, the Battlehawks defense brought the pressure. Flushed Tamu out the pocket to the right. And he made the safe decision. Didn't force anything, threw the ball out of bounds. So 2nd and 10. Shotgun formation. Snap back to Tamu. Again, scrambles out to the right first of all. Throws back across his body to Moore. Just for a 1-yard completion. Moore has gone down holding his knee. You don't like to see that. They're trying to set up the tight end screen. But doesn't look good for Moore. He's clutching his right knee. I don't want to speculate, but we've seen that type of injury many times before in the NFL, and it's not usually good news. Kudos, St. Louis. I will do my best for you, Brian. I'll do my best for you to say St. Louis from now on. But again, it's a good drive for the defenders. Looks like they'll come away from this drive with at least 3 points to extend this back to an 8-point lead. Could come away with more.
We also have same-day delivery and in-store pickup. They're like the full package. Exactly. Smart deals, low prices. That's smart. Anything for pets.
It's going to be 3rd and 8 from the Battlehawks 17-yard line when we come back. Just a reminder, our next live stream is going to be the NFL draft on Thursday night. It's going to be a late or early one for us over in the UK. It's an 8 p.m. Eastern time start, so a 1 a.m. start on Friday morning for us in the UK. But we're going to be live streaming that first round. And we're going to do it on a scoring system just to make it interesting. So with our prediction video that came out this week, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out on the channel. It's our final first round mock draft. Came out yesterday. Make sure you check it out, see what you think. But we're going to do it on a point system. If we have called the pick exactly right, we can get ourselves 2 points. If we've called the correct position, but the wrong player, we'll give ourselves 1 point. If we've called the wrong position and the wrong player, 0 points. So there's 64 points up for grabs. And we'll see how many of those 64 points that we do end up with. So if you want to come and play along with us, then make sure you come and join us on Thursday night if you're from the US, or early hours of Friday morning from the UK. And come and make your predictions and picks on draft night. It's usually a good one. I'm sure there'll be a few trades in there to shake things up. We've got trips right formation out the shotgun. on 3rd and 8 for the defenders. Battlehawks send pressure. And this time, they get there. Bring Tamu down. I think that's the second sack of Tamu in this game. They got to him 7 times in the first week. But they finally got to him here. Delayed blitz. Got hold of him. But it's going to be a field goal attempt for McCrane coming up. So I declare you an honorary American. Thank you. Thank you. Now, if only that also gave me access to all American streaming channels, that would be great. Here comes the kick. It is good from McCrane. He doesn't miss. That guy doesn't miss. They lead now. The DC defenders back up by 8. Leading 2012. So big drive. Big drive for the Battlehawks. I mean, looking at the Battlehawks passing game, again, Frost is 4 of 14 for 120 yards, 1 touchdown. But 2 of those passes were to Hakeem Butler. One a 75-yard touchdown, which Hakeem Butler basically ran all himself. And the other one was just to throw up in the air and hope, really. So he's really only complete to take those 2 off. He's 2 of 12 for 11 yards. Is Harrison Frost in this game. Got to do better. Turned it on in the 4th quarter last week against the Stallions. Hopefully he can do the same again today. Here's the kickoff. It's returnable from the 5-yard line. And taken down about the 21. So not the best return. The Battlehawks offense need to put something together. Now, come on, Battlehawks from Brian in the chat. Let's see if you can get something going. I think they'll want to just ease him in. I wouldn't be surprised a screen or something in the flat. Just get the ball out of his hands quickly. It's a handoff, though, on the first down. A big run at the 10, 20-yard line, and a 23-yard run. Great run, but we've got laundry. We'll see who this is against. It's a huge run up the middle from Latulis, 23-yard run. Is hold against the offense. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. Let's have a look at this one. There's holding pretty much on every play. It's just whether if you get busted for it. On the offensive line, there's holding on every single play. It's just whether you get caught or whether it's that blatantly obvious. So we've got 1st and 20 now. Back at the 10-yard line. Spread formation. Snap back to Frost. Looking to pass. Under pressure. He's taken down on the sack. It's close to a safety. I think he's just outside. What are we going to call here? They've called the safety. Harrison Frosters. I almost said Harrison Ford then. Harrison Frosters backed up all the way to his end zone. Let's have a look. He's at the 2, steps back, and then he's taken. Yeah, that's a safety. He backs up to the 2-yard line, and then as the rush is coming, the pressure is coming, he takes another 2 steps back into his end zone and gets taken down. That's going to be 2 points to the defenders. Not the start that the Battlehawks wanted in the second half. The defenders are up by 10 and they're going to get the ball back.
this pertains to the overtime. And you can't have a game end on those consecutive defensive penalties for 2 penalties in the extra second. I've always maintained a safety should count for more than 2 points. It is a big deal to get tackled in your own end zone. Folks, I'll give it 4 men.
They're talking here about whether they think that a safety should be worth more than 2 points. Because it doesn't happen very often. It's a huge play to tackle somebody in their own end zone. I understand that. Like, maybe it should be worth a touchdown. Maybe it should be worth 6 points. I think I'd be on board with that, to be honest. Don't get tackled in your own end zone. Otherwise, you give up a touchdown. I think I'd be on board with that, to be honest. But yes, not the best start for the Battlehawks, who are now going to have to kick it back to DC, down by 10. And the kick is up, returnable from the 6-yard line. And is eventually tackled down around the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the defenders. Just over 8 minutes left in this third quarter. They're up by 10 now. And trips right formation out the shotgun. There's a handoff to Jackson up the middle, who is completely stuffed yet again. This Battlehawks rush defense has been outstanding today. It's just they haven't been able to get off the field on 3rd down. Tamu has converted again and again and again on these 3rd downs. Second and 10, it's an empty backfield from their own 26-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Fired to the flat. It's caught by Jackson. I think it's a 4-yard completion. It'll set up a 3rd and 6. Need points. The Battlehawks need points. The Battlehawks defense need to get off the field. They need to stop. Got 3rd and 5 coming up. So 3rd and 5 for the defenders from their own 31-yard line. Play action pass for Tamu. Thrown towards the left sideline. It's caught again. And another conversion on 3rd down to Powell. Just can't get the pressure when they need to get the pressure, the Battlehawks. And Tamu's able to work through his progressions, find the open receiver. 1st down. And that's up to around the 43, 44-yard line. We've got a flag. Free snap. It's a false start against the defenders. You're set up a 1st and 15. It's a keeper from Tamu up the left side, who runs out of bounds after looked like an 8-yard run up the left side. Going to give him 9 yards to set up a 2nd and 6. Just under 6 minutes left in this third quarter. DC up by 10. Shotgun formation this time from their own 48-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. It's going to be a pass play. Fired. And the Battlehawks defender dived in front of the intended pass. Thought it was going to be picked off for a second. This ends up being incomplete. So 3rd and 6 coming up. Interesting decision the defenders have got here because at 3rd and 6, just 2 yards away from midfield. So do they want to get only 2 yards if that's available? It's snap back to Tamu. Under pressure, defender in his face, tries to flip it out to his running back. Incomplete. And finally, the Battlehawks get to Tamu. Create that pressure on 3rd down. And I think the DC defenders are going to punt. They're lined up to punt on 4th and 6. Oh, and the punt is nearly blocked. And it's fair caught at the 15-yard line. And the Battlehawks will be back out again. Still, they are now down by 10 points. 2-score game. Need to put something together.
Happy birthday, always elegant. Want mom to outfit. You know why I'm excited for bottomless apps for $9.99? Why, man? Finally, I have a reason to wear my bottomless cap. Whoa! You've been swatting. You've been doing swats. Yes, I have been. Thank you.
We've got. It's good to have some NFL stuff back this week. Obviously, with the draft running over Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week. But then not too far in the future. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll get the schedule for the 2026 season. So that's something to look forward to. But then obviously that's when we get the big break again after that, from mid-May all the way through to pre-season starting, really. One date that the Patriots will be keeping a very close eye on, Patriots fans at least will be keeping a very close eye on, is the 1st of June, where potentially there's going to be this trade for A.J. Brown, which I do believe will happen. I mean, the game could be given up in the draft if the Eagles draft a wide receiver early, or alternatively, if the Patriots draft a wide receiver, maybe it isn't going to happen. So greetings from Bevo neighborhoods on the south side of St. Louis. Go Battlehawks. Appreciate you coming along. They need some magic. They need some magic from Frost like they got in the 4th quarter last week against the Stallions. Is that to remind me, Brian? But it's this drive's important. This drive's important. They need to score some points. Whether that is a field goal or a touchdown, they've got to score points. Need to get back into this game.
Just 2 years ago, the backup quarterback here in the UFL. Right now, Sam, I should have with Michael Pratt downstairs. I'll be with Michael Pratt. Michael, want to hear the play call, but also want to hear what you think's going to happen on the play. So, do you have a microphone in? Can you hit those in?
The snap Back Frost, it's going to be a handoff up the middle. And a good run on first down, an 8-yard carry. This is the time. This is the time for the St. Louis Battlehawks to put some more points on the board. Second and 2. It's a handoff on the sweep. He was going backwards, and ends up losing 3 yards on the play. Got a DC defender player down. I don't know if it's a knee or it was cramp. But he's down at the minute, and I think we've got a timeout. The Battlehawks are going to have a 3rd and 5 coming up. Just under 4 minutes left in this third quarter. So come on, Battlehawks. This is the time. This is it. Come on. I think Budweiser's HQ there. So we go 3rd and 5. Empty backfields for the Battlehawks. 3rd and 5 from their own 20-yard line. A huge play coming up. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Snap back to Frost. Time to throw. And it's incomplete. Looking for Pearson. Incomplete. 4th and 5. And the Battlehawks are going to have to punt. It's just not happening. Frost needs some that fourth quarter magic from last week. And here comes the punt. The punt is up. A good punt as well. Returnable from the 21-yard line. Breaks out of a tackle. Is at the 30, at the 40. And ends up getting slowed down by his own player who is on the ground. Looked like he was getting some momentum there, but takes the ball back on a good return. Close to midfield. I was waiting for that. Cheers, Brian. How have you been doing on your... I mean, have you still been getting the home brew on the go, or is that just for the NFL season? Not heard much of your own brewing recently. So we've got spread formation out the shotgun for DC. Snap back to Tamu. Under pressure. Managed to get the ball out, though, to Jackson in the flat, who gets hit out of bounds. It's a 3-yard completion. Oh, that was a bit of a tug. There's a bit of holding on that left side of the line there, but they got away with it. So 2nd and 7 coming up. And they're at their own 47.5-yard line. Shotgun formation for Tamu, and we've got a timeout for the DC defenders, their first of the second half. The St. Louis Battlehawks have got all 3 of their timeouts remaining. That's a good one. St. Louis Battlehawks against the Orlando Storm next Saturday. That sounds tempting. Might have a look at that one. That's a 7 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff, or a midnight kickoff for us in the UK. That sounds tempting for next week. So I have plenty of homebrew on the go, building a tiny house. Is there anything in particular you're brewing at the moment? So a 2nd and 7. Just over 2 minutes left of this third quarter, and the DC defenders are on their own 47.5-yard line. Trips right formation, out the shotgun. Snap back to Tamu. Scrambles out to the left, and then slides down close to midfield. Has he crossed midfield? This is close. So 3rd and 5 for the DC defenders. And the ball is right around midfield. We've got another timeout from the DC defenders on this drive. That's 2 wasted. Could come back to haunt them in the end. They are up by 10 at the minute, but could come back to haunt them. You don't want to burn timeouts in the second half. So do it. Can't lose. I like both teams. Yeah, so do I. I mean, they're my two. They're my 2 teams. I think in the UFL, if I had to say 2 teams, Battlehawks first and then Orlando Storm second. Should be a good one. It's a shame it's not in St. Louis, actually, that one, because getting head coach Anthony Beck to come back would be a good one. Nothing brewing until stocks get low. You just crack on then, Brian. So we're just inside their own half, 49.5-yard line. Snap back to Tamu. Lofted pass to the right. Oh, they're going to get called on a pass interference. It's one of those ones where the ball gets lofted up in the air and the receivers ends up waiting for it, and then the defender runs straight into them because they're not looking where the ball is. Doesn't see the ball, so tries to sort of get his arm in the way and get in the way, but hits the player early. It's an easy call for pass interference. And now the defenders have the ball right at the 21-yard line of the Battlehawks. We've got to keep them out of the end zone. Got to keep them out of the end zone on this drive. Empty backfield. Snap back to Tamu. Fired over the middle. It's caught for a 5-yard completion. Takes the ball into the red zone. I made 15 gallons. So, hey, it's a fair bit to work through then. Sounds like one good night. Or a few good nights. So 2nd and 5. From the 16-yard line. It's a handoff up the middle to Smith, who gains 2 yards. Is going to set up a a 3rd down and short. That might be the last play, in fact, of the 3rd quarter as well. It's going to be a 3rd and 3 coming up to start the 4th quarter. And again, the Battlehawks are going to have to make a 4th quarter comeback. The problem is that they could potentially be coming back from 17, have to come back from 17 points down if the defenders get in for a touchdown and kick the extra point.
I know how horrific it is. Whenever I taste cinder dust, I know I do it all again. Must cinder dust.
So just one game remaining after this one. We've got one game remaining in week 4 of the UFL. We've got the Storm and Stallions, which is coming up later today. Kicks off in, just over an hour's time. Should be another good one. It's the Birmingham Stallions' first home game of the season against the team that is an expansion team and is unbeaten currently, the only unbeaten team left in the UFL at this point. So it should be a good one. Make sure you check out our weekly UFL episode. It'll be out on Monday. We shall have the key highlights of all 4 games and also our key takeaways and a look ahead to week 5 of the UFL. Week 4. Week 5. I've got week 3 results on there, which is confusing. Should say week 4 results, shouldn't it, on the screen there? So we're looking ahead to week 5 of the UFL. That's annoying. I'm going to change that. So we go 3rd and 3 from the 14-yard line. It's a play action pass. We've got a flag thrown, but it's still going. We've got a receiver diving in the end zone, incomplete. Let's see what this flag is for, though. It's offside against the defense. It's going to be an automatic 1st down. This hasn't gone right for the majority of this game for the Battlehawks. Here we go. Hopefully I've got that right now. Hey, there we go. Week 4 results are now on the screen, not the week 3 results. I confused myself with that. It's a handoff up the left side. It's going to be about a 3 or 4 yard carry. Like I said, for 2nd and goal. Battlehawks have to keep them out of the end zone. Stay in this game. Got to keep them out of the end zone. 14 minutes left in this game. DC up by 10 and just 6 yards away now. Just extending their lead. Trips right formation out the shotgun. Snap back to Tamu. Fired. Incomplete. Looking for Deion Jackson out the backfield. It's incomplete. Going to set up a 3rd and goal now from the 6. So 3rd and goal. Trips right formation out the shotgun. Snap back to Tamu. Scrambles out to his right. He's got time. Throws towards the end zone. Incomplete. Hits the hands of the receiver. It's incomplete though. And that's going to set up a 4th and goal. And I'm sure the defenders are going to kick a field goal here rather than risk coming away empty-handed. Hits the fingertips of the receiver. Here comes Matt McCrane. Usually automatic. 23-yard field goal attempt. Straight down the middle. And the DC defenders lead 25-12. So up by 13. Just under 13 minutes left in this game as well. And that beer snake is rising. It's past halfway now. It's about 2/3 of the way up the stands in DC. Just for the beer snake update. Yeah, they helped us to a field goal at least. They just haven't got anything really going on offense in this game. They'll have the Battlehawks. Let's be fair. They've got 6 of those points based off. Well, actually, you can say 9 of those points based off Hakeem Butler alone. You know, they had that 75-yard touchdown pass, catch, and run. But really, that was all Hakeem Butler. He was thrown out to the flat. He got a couple of stiff arms. He got a couple of blocks on the way as well. And ran 75 yards for the touchdown. Then just before halftime, Ross threw an absolute hope into quadruple coverage. And somehow Hakeem Butler went up and got it. They got the penalty and then kicked the field goal off that. So take those 2 plays away from Hakeem Butler. You're looking at a 25-3 game here. An absolute, demolition, really. It's interesting that the Battlehawks have gone with Pratt as the backup quarterback in this game. So Silvers, is he just out now? Is that he's been relegated to quarterback 3 now? But this is a drive. They've got to score a touchdown, really. A field goal doesn't really help you, gets you back to within 10, but that's still a 2-score game. Score a touchdown on this drive. Might miss it 18. Gets within 7, depending on how many points you go for. But if you kick an extra point, gets you within 6 points. You're right in this game, where maybe you shouldn't be. But it's a lot to ask for when they haven't produced a lot on offense in this game. I will make sure, Brian, that in my videos moving forward on the UFL that I will say St. Louis. I'll give you a shout out as well for that. So here we go. The kick from the DC defenders back to the Battlehawks from Matt McCrane. Kick is up. Returnable from the 5-yard line. And a decent return, gets the ball up to the 35-yard line. And just talk about the fact that those 2 plays from Hakeem Butler has been it for the Battlehawks really on offense. It's a handoff on the sweep to the right. It's a 2-yard carry. He'll set up a 2nd and 8. But if he's the go-to guy, Hakeem Butler, get the ball in his hands. Find a way to get him the ball. Because really, as I said before, and they've just said on TV there, that those 2 plays from Hakeem Butler has been it really on offense for the Battlehawks. So they've got an empty backfield. Snap back to Frost, thrown, caught by Jackson, breaks out a tackle and managed to get across midfield. Did well to convert just for a 1st down, never mind getting extra yardage on top of that. Frost turned it on in the 4th quarter against the Stallions last week. Can he do it again? This will be even more impressive if he's able to do it in this one. Empty backfield, snap back to Frost. Scrambles out to his right. Still scrambling. Buys himself some time. Looks downfield. Throws. Incomplete. Now set up a 2nd and 10. We've got a late flag as well. The DC defender's defender looks very hot there. So we've got a holding penalty against DC and an unnecessary roughness personal foul against DC as well. Automatic 1st down Battlehawks. Oof! That was a hell of a hit from number 7. Helmet to helmet hit on Harrison Frost. Whew. That was naughty because he'd already thrown the ball. But it is a 1st and 10 now for the Battlehawks on the 35-yard line of the defenders. Can they get into the end zone? Spread formation out the shotgun for Harrison Frost. Snap back to him. Dumps the ball off to his running back. Got some blockers out in front and gains 11 yards to take the ball inside the 25-yard line. I'd say from somehow, some way, the Battlehawks are still in this game if they're able to get into the end zone on this drive. They've done pretty much nothing on offense all game, but if they produce here on this drive, there's a handoff on the sweep to the running back. Nice run up the right side, grabbed by his hair and pushed out of bounds. But it's going to be 1st and goal. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Battlehawks. Really good run up the right-hand side. Get some good blocking. He gets tackled down by his hair and pushed out of bounds, I think around the 7-yard line. 1st and goal. Now is the time. Now is the time from the 7. Snap back to Frost. It's a handoff. And he breaks a tackle. It's a touchdown. The St. Louis Battlehawks are into the end zone. And we're into a one-score game.
Touchdown!
So Kevin Latoulis breaks a tackle and then steps in untouched after that into the end zone to make this a 7-point ball game, pending the extra point. It's a handoff to Latoulis. Comes off the left side, throws a defender, and then steps in untouched into the end zone. Hey, we've got a game. We have got a game. And Brian is happy, as am I. Here comes the extra point. Straight down the middle. And we've got a 6-point ball game. We're finding a way to stay in the game, the Battlehawks. They did it last week against the Stallions after a catastrophic third quarter where they conceded 2 touchdowns and a field goal and got themselves into a real hole. Got themselves into a hole in this game as well. You know, they were down by 13 points going into the fourth quarter. They've now reduced that to a 6-point game. And still plenty of time left in this game as well. So if you're quoting Dumb and Dumber, you're telling me there's a chance. They could do it. So exactly 10 minutes left. Exactly on the dot. 10 minutes left in this game. And the defenders are up 25-19. Here comes the kick. It bounces just inside the 20, returnable from around the 15. And a decent return up to the 35-yard line as well. And now this is where they need to make a play on defense. What a turnaround it would be if they could get a stop on this drive, get the ball back still down just by 6 with a chance to score a touchdown to tie the game. What a turnaround that would be. One in a million. We'll take that one chance, though. This could be the one. That is Tamu in the championship game, nearly a perfect passer rating. Anyway, 1st and 10. Just under 10 minutes left in this game. We've got shotgun formation for Tamu at his own 35-yard line. Say play action pass, run pass option completed for 5 yards. It'll set up a 2nd and 5.
So this is a very balanced league. There is a ton of talent with Birmingham, with Louisville, with Columbus, with Houston figuring some things out. You have to start to separate yourself early because injuries and the grind of the spring league starts to take its toll late. So this is a massive game with implications. Let's move to the top.
Just got an injury timeout for an injured Battlehawks player.
They've been a second half team this year. They hung in there. They found a way to score on that last drive. And that's a credit to Ricky Brohl and his first time as a head coach, what he's built here, the culture he's built, because they're never out of it. Even it looks like they are. 21-point fourth quarter comeback last week. Coming back, start to figure things out here in the fourth quarter today. So this is the team that if you give them a chance.
So 2nd and 4, 9.5 minutes left in this game.
coaching career. There's the dome back in week 1. What would he be like today if they complete a comeback here? Sean Fresh is the injured Battlehawk.
So the ball at the 40-yard line of the defenders, facing the 2nd and 4. Snap back to Tamu. It's a keeper from Tamu who gets the first down, still on his feet, looking for blockers, and eventually tackled down around the 41-yard line of the Battlehawks. So you got to say they're already in field goal range. For Matt McCrane, they seem to get a stop at the 50-yard line, but he broke out of the tackles, spun out the tackles. So 1st and 10 for DC at the 40-yard line. Step back to Tamu. Handoff on the jet sweep. It looks like a 7-yard gain up the left side. So 2nd and 1. Motion receiver from left to right. Handoff. Breaks a tackle. 1st down. DC needed just over a yard for a 1st down. End up gaining 4 yards. 1st down for the defenders. And just the drive that they needed. Snap back to Tamu. Lofted pass to the left side. Looking end zone. It's incomplete though. And that'll set up a 2nd and 10 with just under 7.5 minutes left in this game. So 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line of the Battlehawks. There's a handoff to Smith, who's tackled down after a 3-yard gain. It'll set up a 3rd and 7. It's an interesting one, this, because if the the defenders end up kicking a field goal, it's going to make it a 9-point game, which is still a 1-score game in the UFL. Snap back to Tamu. Under pressure, scrambles out to his right, avoids the sack, throws downfield, and throws out of bounds, incomplete. It's going to be a 4th and 6. And I think the defenders are going to send out Matt McCrane. And here he is, Matt McCrane, to try and make this a 9-point game, which is still, as I said, a 1-score game in the UFL. So from the right hash, a 39-yard field goal attempt is good, straight down the middle. As I say, that guy is automatic. So we're just under 6 minutes left. So 5 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. The Battlehawks trail by 9, but are still more than in this if they can get into the end zone and convert a 3-point conversion from the 8-yard line. That would tie this game up at 28. And who would bet against it? Just while we're getting towards the end of this game, I just want to remind you that the next thing we'll be releasing will be our Week 4 UFL video, which is a recap and highlights video. We've got the best highlights of each of the 4 games of Week 4. We've had some good ones so far. Some underdog victories, another overtime game. Then on Thursday, we'll have our live stream of the first round of the NFL draft. Make sure you check that one out. Go and join us for that. Go and let us know your predictions of where teams are going to go with their picks. And then our next one after that will be a live stream, probably, of the St Louis Battlehawks at the Orlando Storm next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you haven't already, if you're watching over on YouTube, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button as well, so you don't miss out on any of our UFL and NFL content. So just under 6 minutes left. We're ready for the defenders to kick it back to the Battlehawks. Kick return would be nice right about now. And the kick is up. It's returnable from around the 15-yard line. And tackled down around the 26-yard line. And now it's time for Frost's big moment. He turned it on last week in the fourth quarter against the Stallions. Can he do it again today? They've had one touchdown drive this fourth quarter. Can he lead them on another one? We're down by 9. It's trips right formation, out the shotgun, and a handoff, and a huge gain at the 50, at the 40, at the 30, and tackled down at the 22-yard line. There's been pretty much no run game all game long, and then a handoff and a wide open parting of the seas. 4 Howards up the middle for the Battlehawks. And all of a sudden, the Battlehawks are just outside the red zone. They're up at the 22-yard line already. Trips left formation out the shotgun. I think we've got a flag. Twelve players on defense, which means it's a 5-yard penalty, a 1st and 5 coming up for the Battlehawks, and they're into the red zone just like that, as quick as that. The Battlehawks seem to get themselves into these positions somehow, some way. So a 1st and 5 from the 17-yard line is a handoff again, this time to Howard. Keeps his legs going. And in the NFL, that would have been a 1st down because he was getting pushed by his offensive lineman forward and driven forward. But in the UFL, you can't do that. The tush push is banned. You're not allowed to push a player forward once he's stopped. So he's going to be adjudged just short of the line to gain with just over 4 minutes left. A 2nd and 3 coming up. It's a keeper. And it was Pratt back on the field, the backup quarterback. on the QB keeper. Kept it, run up the left side. First down for the Battlehawks. And it's going to be a first and goal for the Battlehawks. Snap, handoff up the middle. It's a run. And a forward push from James gets him down to the 5-yard line. It's going to be a second and goal for the Battlehawks from the 5-yard line. I think we've got a flag. I think we've got a false start. Not the time you need a false start when you're down. 2nd and 5 at the goal. 2nd and goal, sorry, from the 5-yard line. It's now or never. Sounds like a song. It is now or never. They have to get into the end zone here. Oh, that's not a costly penalty. Second and goal from the 10-yard line now. It's 4 down territory. Snap back to Frost. Thrown towards the end zone. Back shoulder looking for Hakeem Butler, but nowhere near him. There's going to be a 3rd and goal coming up. He'd have had him. Or he just needed to throw that in Hakeem Butler's general direction, and he'd been able to outbox the defender there. Miracles is a song. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. So empty backfield for Frost. DC send the pressure. The ball comes out. And they're going to say it's an incomplete. And now a huge decision for the Battlehawks here on 4th and goal. To be fair, though, I think that's an incomplete. I think that's an incomplete. I think I kick a field goal here. I think I kick a field goal because if you're going to have to get a stop from DC anyway, I'd kick a field goal. It's 4th and goal from the 10-yard line. I'd kick a field goal. We're at the 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter. Yes, points. I kick the field goal, make it 28-22. And you're going to need to get the stop anyway. They've actually managed their timeouts pretty well in the second half this time around. They've got all 3 timeouts, so they've stuffed the run pretty well as well all game long. So you imagine the DC are going to want to run it on 1st down and 2nd down. If you can stuff both of those and get a stop on 3rd down, you know, you're down by 6. A touchdown would tie it. An extra point would win it. Could potentially win this game 29-28. I would kick the field goal here. If I'm the head coach, I'm kicking a field goal. I'm relying on my defense to get me a stop. Well, let me know what you think. What do you reckon? Are you going for it on 4th down here? Or are you kicking the field goal? But I said I agree. Field goal. It's just a sensible choice because at the end of the day, if you don't make it, you're going to need stops then anyway, and then you still got to score a touchdown and a 3-point conversion. Or you go for it here, you score the touchdown, but then don't get the 3-point conversion. You still need a stop. You might as well keep the field goal here. Keep the field goal and then hope you get a stop. That's your best way of winning this game. You know, things are in your favor here. We've got all 3 timeouts. You kick the field goal. It won't take that much time off the clock to kick the field goal. Kick it downfield and hope your defense gets you 3 stops in a row. You know, you could end up with the ball back, you know, with about a minute and a half left to go down the field, score a touchdown, kick an extra point to win it. You know, you could end up winning this game 29-28. Right, they're going for a field goal. Good. They're listening. They're listening. As long as McCann kicks it through, which he should be able to from here, it's pretty much a chip shot. It's less than an extra point from where he's kicking it from. It's a 28-yard field goal attempt. Straight down the middle from McCann. We've got a 6-point ball game. See, that only took 2 seconds off the clock. No, you could. Yeah, teams could keep the ball after scoring with successful 4th and 12 conversion from their own 28-yard line. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. And yeah, they're not going to do that either. See, you were talking about potentially go for it on 4th and 12 for their own 28-yard line. I'm glad they're not doing that because you're pretty much giving them a free field goal with a DC. Even if you get a stop, you're giving them a free field goal, free 3 points. They're not going to do that. The kick is up. Takes a nice bobbled bounce. Scooped up at around the 7 and tackled down. What, around the 15-yard line? It's crazy how they're actually in the game here, the Battlehawks. And if their run defense plays as well as it has all game here, it's going to end up coming down to a 3rd down. And can they stop Tamu on a 3rd down? So 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line for the defenders. It's a handoff on the sweep to Powell. And pushed out of bounds after a 4-yard carry. It's going to set up a 2nd and 6. And they ran out of bounds, which is going to stop the clock automatically. So the Battlehawks haven't even had to use a timeout. Should have gone down. Should have gone down. If you're a DC ball carrier there, you've got to go down. Snap back to Tamu. It's a handoff again. And this time, tackle down for a 1 yard loss. It's a 3rd and 7. The Battlehawks call their first timeout. I told you. This is coming down to a 3rd down, and it's going to be a Tamu pass play. It's going to come down to, can the Battlehawks stop a 3rd and 7? If they do. If it falls incomplete, they keep 2 timeouts. Even if they complete it and don't make it, they keep 1 timeout. They're in perfect situation right now. So 3rd and 7 from their own 18.5 yard line. Snap back to Tamu. It's the same play again. There's no way they're making it. That's a terrible play call. What a terrible play call that is. They've called a jet sweep to the same player who's just ran the ball the last 2 times. And now it means they've actually lost yardage. So now they're punting from around their own, 16-yard line. And the Battlehawks being able to keep one of their timeouts. If you're St. Louis here, you can't believe your luck. A touchdown pretty much wins it. A touchdown, an extra point wins it. So here comes the punt. Punt is up. It's returnable from the 35-yard line, straight up the middle. Breaks up down, and he's tackled down at the 49. But there's a penalty. Usually that's against the return team, which is going to really hurt the Battlehawks after would have been excellent starting field position right around midfield. Wow, it's holding against a kicking team. You'd barely see that. Which means that the Battlehawks are going to be starting with the ball inside DC territory. Well, Frost, what have you got? What have you got? 1 minute and 23 seconds left. 1 timeout. And he's starting with the ball on the 40-yard line of the DC defenders. What an insane comeback this would be if they could pull it off. Snap back to Frost. Sets off running himself. It's a 1st down, a 13-yard dash from Frost. Takes the ball down to the 27-yard line. They don't burn that timeout just yet. So come on, Frost. Snap back to Frost. Throws towards the right. It's incomplete. Looking for the pass around the 10-yard line. It's incomplete. It's going to set up a 2nd and 10. It does. Sorry, I got too excited. I got too excited. Thanks, Just Killer. I got too excited for the fact that somehow, some way, the Battlehawks have got a chance of winning this game. So Trips left formation from the shotgun. Snap back to Frost. Pressure's come in and hit on a huge sack. The ball comes out afterwards. I think he was down by contact, but Battlehawks got to take time out. Time out. Should have seen that coming. Should have seen that coming. You got to throw that early. Completely overloaded from the right side. And now the Battlehawks are in third and forever. Our running back couldn't get across there. Yeah, he's definitely down by contact anyway. Third and 21 now. They've got no timeouts remaining as well. So a third and 21. Huge play coming up for the Battlehawks. So the commentators are talking about surely one of these plays is going towards Hakeem Butler. He's pulled off 2 sensational plays in this game so far. 75-yard touchdown, a 34-yard catch in quadruple coverage. So third and 21, Trips left formation out the shotgun from the 39-yard line. Defenders are playing coverage. There's time to throw. Loads of time to throw. Throws deep towards the end zone. And is intercepted. Is intercepted at the 4-yard line. And that is pretty much game over. Didn't need to force it. He had all the time in the world. He didn't need to force it. Oh, he waited too long. He just didn't have the arm either. The receiver was there, just didn't have the arm. He was late on the throw and then didn't have the arm to get it there. Yep. You can boo now. So here comes victory formation for the DC defenders. Just one more knee. And DC will advance to 3-1, tied for second place in the UFL. The St Louis Battlehawks will drop to 2-2. And there we go. Victory formation, the knee. Only one turnover in the tie game, and it was the third to last play. But I have to say, even as a Battlehawks fan, DC deserved that to win that game. DC deserved to win that game. The St. Louis has somehow kept themselves in it, but has not produced enough on offense throughout that game to deserve to win that game. Defenders get revenge for that 16-10 St. Louis win in week 1. They themselves win by 6 points in this one and split the games 1-1 this season. And as I said earlier on, there's a very strong chance these two play a third game decider in the playoffs. That is for sure. They didn't have their chance, Brian. They had it. That sack was huge. That sack was huge. But thank you very much for everyone that has joined us. Special shout out to Brian, of course. And I will make sure I say St. Louis from now on as well. But just to let you know, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on YouTube for weekly UFL and NFL content. We've got a UFL video coming out on Monday, which will have the key highlights, recaps of all 4 games from this week, plus a look at the standings and a look towards week 5. On Thursday this week, we've got our live stream of the NFL draft. So come and join us. That'll be fun. We've got a point scoring system going for that, and we'll see how many points we can score in that as well. And then next week, we'll have our live stream of our UFL. Most likely will be the St Louis Battlehawks at the Orlando Storm, which should be a good one. That should be a real good one. So make sure you join us for that. Again, thank you very much. Appreciate you, Brian. Have a good week. And hopefully we'll see you for the draft on Thursday. And we'll see you all very shortly.